What's going on, guys? It's your boy DJ Skandalous here, and we're back with another episode of Skandalous Talk. Before we get into this video, I want to let you guys know that my YouTube channel was down June 20th, my main YouTube channel, and it was down for 5 days. They actually terminated my channel without cause, without reason. If you don't know the full story, I have a video on my Skandalous Talk channel right here detailing everything that went on with that. Basically, in that video, I just talk about everything that went on and really just dive into my life story of how I came about on YouTube and the different things that impacted me throughout my life that inspired me to actually make music, because I really thought that my YouTube channel wasn't coming back. So I really made that video as a message to everybody that has a YouTube channel or is familiar with my YouTube channel. However, guys, I want to give a shout out to everybody in the Fandom Menace and everyone from Hip Hop Universe's YouTube channel that came to my aid and showed me mad love, mad support on YouTube as well as Twitter. And really, I don't know if it was my YouTube video that I made on Skandalous Talk that got my YouTube channel back, or if it was you guys that kept hounding them on Twitter and retweeting and constantly commenting them about my YouTube channel. And it's very unfortunate that it took all that to get their attention, because I had no strikes, no copyright strikes, nothing. And I just want to say thank you guys, because this whole YouTube thing means a lot to me. And you guys don't see how much work creators actually go in about creating these videos. You just see the output, like I said in my video. You may see 10 minutes, 15 minutes, but it takes hours for us to create these videos, you know? So I had all these ideas before my YouTube channel got terminated. I actually wanted to break down several videos that I found on Instagram Live of Money B talk about many songs that he recorded with Tupac, or actually produced for, or was in the studio during the time that Tupac created the songs around 1990 to 1992 and 3. And he actually did this live stream on Instagram for Tupac's birthday around June 16th. So I wanted to do a breakdown and talk about the several songs that Money B actually talked about during his live stream. So in this one, we're going to talk about the song I Get Around. Now, this is a classic song that Tupac did for a Strictly album that came out in 1993. And what a lot of people don't know is Tupac actually has an unreleased verse for this song that was actually written and recorded for Money B. However, Money B did not even use the verse. He would go on to write his own verse. So this verse just got scrapped on the cutting room floor. And Tupac also wrote Shock G's verse, but it's unknown if Tupac recorded Shock G's verse himself as a reference track. So here's Money B talking about this track.
So let's talk about I Get Around real quick. You know, interesting song. I always tell everybody I could write a book, a whole book on that song alone. But, let me truncate it. I always talk about how Tupac, his work ethic was unmatched as far as I'm concerned. And, he always wanted to take out any reasons why things couldn't happen for him. So when I Get Around, he actually wrote the whole song. You know what I mean? So let me explain. By the time we recorded that, he had already moved to Los Angeles, but we were supposed to jump on the track. And he was like, fuck it. Even if y'all busy, I'm going to write it. So all y'all got to do is, even if y'all just can show up, just say what I wrote. Like, you don't even have to think. That's how much he wanted us to get on that thing. So when he got to we got to the studio, Shock actually said the rhyme that Tupac wrote. So Shock's verse, pretty much Tupac wrote it. Shock kind of switched a few words around to kind of personalize it for himself, but Tupac wrote that. He also wrote a verse for me, and when I get to the studio, I'm listening to it. Now, mind you, you know what I Get Around, we about partying, and I Get Around is about the women and hanging out. And this verse that he wrote for me is like, my fofo, make sure your kids don't grow and all this shit. And I'm like, and I'm from the O, and I was like, I am not saying that shit. You know what I mean? I had already written my verse on the way to the studio. That verse actually resurfaced for people to hear. So if you've ever heard the Death Row Greatest Hits, I Get Around remix, they pull my verse and then it's a Tupac verse. But actually, the verse that he wrote for me is the verse that they pull up and take me out. So I actually have it. I'm going to play it. So if you want it, you can go YouTube, or you can go to, like I said, it's on Death Row Greatest Hits, I believe. Yeah, Turk, that wasn't me at all. So I had to respectfully decline that one. Plus, I wouldn't have got no publishing. I didn't even know what publishing was back then, to be honest with you. I don't think. No, I did. But I wasn't thinking about that. I just knew that verse was not me.
So we already got the Death Row Greatest Hits remix. I thought it was a very great remix, but it's a very different type of vibe. It gave me the vibe of, I would say, Words to My Firstborn original. If you ever heard that song, has a nice saxophone in the background. I'm not talking about the album version because the album version was a remix. The original version with Nutso has the saxophone, samples a classic song. So this gives that type of vibe because it has that very laid back saxophone instrumental. Now I know it's already released on the Death Row Greatest Hits. However, I would love to see a new version come out with just Tupac doing his 3 verses over the original instrumental. And I also think they can do a lot with this verse and some ad-libs from the actual retail version to make a I Get Around Part 2 type track, and I would love to see either Money B and Shock G to have new verses, or you can get Too Short and E40, or possibly J. Cole. I think that would work well too. And this could be a hit single that they do for like a new 1992 era album, because there's so many tracks they can actually do different eras for their songs. Because there's still so many tracks left from 1988 to 1991 for Tupacalypse Now era album, and there's also a lot of tracks from 1992, which was the Strictly and Troublesome 21 era. So I would love to see this song possibly get remixed as a part 2, and you can put on other songs such as Brothers in the Pen, Still Don't Give a Fuck, What Goes On, Troublesome 92, Don't Call Me Bitch, Holla If You Hear Me, the Live Squad version, which is a totally different track, the Hellraiser, which is another totally different track, and possibly the Ghetto Gospel original version, which has 4 verses. Alright guys, be sure to check out my other interviews on here. I have some other interviews with Tupac sound engineer Dave Aaron. I'm going to break down more of this live stream that Money B did in my future episodes on Skandalous Talk as well. This is DJ Skandalous signing out. Peace out.